Chasing is a vibration born of lack. Anything born of lack carries a signal that gradually drives it away from you. Have you ever felt that the more you long for something, the more it eludes you? The more you wait for a message, the less it arrives. The more you long for others to see and understand you, the more you feel forgotten. This does not happen because you are not worthy, nor is it due to cruel fate. It happens because the energy you emit, silent yet powerful, says, I lack, I need, I am not enough without that. Even if you smile, stay calm, or try to appear okay, your energy field is always more honest than your words, and it creates a corresponding response in reality. You do not attract with thoughts, you attract with frequency. And as long as your energy is running after and clinging, the very moment you are unconsciously pushing the thing you desire away. This is not a story of desire. It is a story of vibration. Only when you stop seeking, stop controlling, and stop asserting that you are lacking, do you return to the center, where you no longer need to attract, but begin to shine. Number 1. Theory of consciousness and vibration. Some vibrations need not be heard, yet they change an entire room. A person enters without saying anything, without doing anything special, yet all eyes turn to them. Conversely, there are people who, even at their best effort, make others feel heavy or sense that something is off. This is not found in words. This is the energy field, and the energy field never lies. Jung did not call it vibrating energy in the modern spiritual sense, but he understood deeply that consciousness, both conscious and unconscious, is the living magnetic field. When you emit vibrations born of lack, from a place filled with craving, control, and anxiety, you are sending a signal that says, I do not have. I am afraid. I am not enough. And the universe, along with those around you, responds not to what you say, but to what you are. In analytical psychology, Carl Jung explained that every longing issued from a wounded ego activates the shadow within. The shadow is not only the negative part, but everything you refuse, push away, or dare not acknowledge in yourself. When you pursue love out of fear of loneliness, you pursue from your shadow the belief that you cannot be whole on your own. When you pursue success because you feel you lack worth, you act from an inner crack rather than authentic passion. Jung called this projection the phenomenon in which the unconscious mind casts unintegrated parts of ourselves onto the outside world. In Ion Researches into the Phenomenology of the Self, he wrote that projections change the world into a replica of one's unknown face. Thursday, the world does not reflect reality, but mirrors the unseen wounds within us. Imagine you step into a new relationship. On the surface, you appear confident, joyful, and I need nothing. But deep inside, you check your phone constantly, waiting for every message, imagining countless scenarios if the other does not respond as hoped. This is a typical vibration born of lack. Even if you do not speak, that energy still radiates, and the other person senses it. Not through words, but through the tension in your gaze, the rhythm of your heart, the silence between words. This makes them gradually withdraw, not because they dislike you, but because they do not wish to be drawn into an energy that demands to be filled. Jung wrote that, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Until you face the true motivation beneath your actions, you will continue to be led by it, mistaking it for destiny. Many people try to attract what they want. They read law of attraction books, practice affirmations, and imagine an ideal future. But they fail to realize that it is not what you want that is attracted, but what you are. If your foundational energy emits from fear, from a sense of lack, from insecurity about yourself, you are simply sending a clear signal that I do not have it. I am not enough. And by the law of frequency, you will attract experiences that reinforce that reality. Indifferent people, missed opportunities, relationships that mirror your self-doubt. Jung drew a clear distinction between the ego and the soul. The ego is the part that wants to control, plan, possess, and prove. The soul, on the other hand, is the part that needs no reason to be present. When you act from the ego, you always feel compelled to do something to be chosen, to be kept, to avoid loss. But when you live from the soul, you no longer need to pursue, because you recognize I am myself, and if and what is meant to stay will stay. In the undiscovered self, Jung said that the soul demands your truth, not your loyalty to conformity. The soul does not need you to strive to please others. It needs you to have the courage to live in alignment with your inner truth. Vibrations born of lack are ultimately vibrations of fear, of abandonment, of unhealed memories, of an inner child still waiting for someone to come and say, "You are worthy, you are enough." But no one can bring that from the outside if you have not first sent that signal from within yourself. As Jung said, "Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens." You no longer need to search. What you are seeking is not ahead, but in the frequency you emit with each moment. And if you shift that frequency from pleading to presence, from expectation to steadiness, from anxiety to trust, then you will no longer have to chase. Everything will find you, not because you did it right, but because you have become the right person. Number 2, Story 1, 𝗘𝗃𝗲. And that is the profound truth Jung wants us to understand. You do not attract by what you wish for, you attract by what you are. When the energy within you continues to emit a signal of lack, of waiting, of the fear of being abandoned, then the external reality will forever be a mirror reflecting that vibration. And to see how this operates, not only in theory, but in real life, hear the story of 𝗘𝗃𝗏, a vivid and authentic example of what Jung called the psychic wound that cries louder than words. 𝗘𝗃𝗏 is an intelligent, independent woman who is highly self-aware. At age 34, she experienced a painful breakup with the man who had been her whole world. Afterwards, she did not flee from the pain. On the contrary, 𝗘𝗃𝗏 embarked on a model healing journey, reading books, meditating, journaling, taking therapy courses, caring for herself, and rebuilding her self-esteem. On the outside, 𝗘𝗃𝗏 appeared to be the ideal of a woman who had overcome her past. But there was one thing she could not explain. Each time she began a new connection, even if it was gentle and promising, everything always fell into the same orbit. The other person gradually became distant. The relationship grew fragile, and in the end it broke without any clear reason. This is where things became clearer, not through reason, but through a moment of profound awakening in an intensive therapy session. When the therapist looked straight into her eyes and said, "Your energy is not waiting for love, it is begging for confirmation." That remark struck the very core that all of 𝗘𝗃𝗏's healing efforts had missed. She had not truly let go. She had only done everything to prove that she was worthy of love. Although her exterior had changed, her inner energy still clung, not to a specific person, but to a pattern. The person